Grab some more chairs. Thank you very much.
Point five?
Ready, George? Okay. Everyone please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag. Good evening, everyone. Can I get a motion to open up the town board meeting of October 6, 2025?
I'll make that motion.
Bingham to second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Oh, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 3.1 is the water conservation notice. So, due to the lack of rain, there's a conservation notice out there regarding water. And if it's not a drought type condition, but you're just asking people to conserve water throughout the county and the state. So if you could, please refrain from washing your cars. If you can reuse water, fix any leaking pipes, any leaking toilets, hoses, etc. Try to take shorter showers and don't run the tap to make water hot or cold unnecessarily. Okay.
Oh, Lily's fundraiser. Yes, so on October 12th, from 1 to 5 p.m. at Tequila Grill, which is right here on Still Road, there's going to be a fundraiser, Love for Lily. It will be $10 to enter, cash only. There is an ATM on site in case you guys need to grab some cash. Food and drinks will be available for purchase. There will be 50-50 raffles and tricky trays, games, entertainment, a whole bunch more stuff. Lily is a really sweet little girl. I met her last year, and she's been battling leukemia. So she's had several hospital visits and treatments and long days away from school and play, but her smile still lights up every room. Her family is doing everything they can to support her journey, but the emotional and financial toll is overwhelming, and that's where we can help. So if anyone can help support Lily's family while she battles leukemia, that would be wonderful.
Dory, when was she diagnosed?
Oh, over a year ago. Yeah.
How's she doing?
Yeah. I mean, her spirits are good. It's just, you've been through this.
I know all too well.
You know
yeah.
exactly what she's going through.
That's why I'm asking where she's at with her
Yeah.
treatments.
Okay. Next item up on community announcement, St. Paul's Lutheran Church Blood Drive. That's going to be October 13th from 1 to 6 p.m. Appointments are highly recommended, and if you want an appointment, you can visit redcrossblood.org, or you could call 1-800-RED-CROSS. And all that donate blood will get a $10 Amazon gift card by mail, and that's Monday, October 13th. Once again, on October 14th, Orange County Clerk Kelly Eskew invites you to the Orange County Mobile DMV, which is out in the parking lot just outside the patio to the left. All registration transactions, license transactions, real enhanced enforcement transactions. That's Tuesday, October 14th, 10 to 12 p.m. They close for lunch from 12 to 1, and then they reopen from 1 to 3:30. That's at right out here, once again, at Town Hall. Al, you want to go?
Yeah, Food Truck Festival is set for the 18th, 12 to 6 p.m. at O&R Park. The American Legion Monroe Post 488 will be our beneficiary. We have live music from 12 to 6, close to 20 food trucks. Come on out and support it. Great community event, as always. Thanks always to Anne-Marie Morris, who helps, and Jen Schnorrs.
Early voting. Early voting begins on the 25th of October. It goes from the 25th to November 2nd. There's 8 locations in the county. The last day to file your new voter registration at the board to vote is on October 25th. Change of addresses are due by October 20th. Absentee voting, last day to submit an application to the board for an absentee ballot is October 28th, and the last day to apply in person is November 3rd. New voter registration and absentee ballot applications must either be personally delivered or mailed to your appropriate Board of Elections. The early voting sites are as follows: City of Middletown, City of Newburgh. Middletown's at the Middletown Senior Center, Newburgh's at the Activity Center, City of Port Jervis is at the Howard Wheat Engine Company, Town of Goshen is at the Caroline Building, Town of Montgomery is at the Village of Montgomery Senior Center, Town of Monroe is right here in Town Hall in this room, Town of New Windsor is at the New Windsor Community Center, and the Town of Warwick is at the Warwick Senior Center.
Supervisor, I'd like to just add, if anyone needs an absentee ballot, voter registration, those forms are on the, attached into the agenda here, along with the address of where to mail those applications into.
Thank you.
Even though the weather's been kind of warm, the leaves are going to start dropping, and it will be time for fall cleanup. So the fall 2025 compost facility schedule is open to residents of the unincorporated town of Monroe, outside of the villages. It will be open starting Saturday, October 25th, and it will also be open on Saturday, November 1st, Saturday, November 8th, Saturday, November 15th, and this is located at 813 Lakes Road, right down here, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. You are going to need to bring your driver's license or some sort of ID, and your brush must be under 4 feet in length and no larger than 5 inches in diameter. If you have any questions, you can give the Highway Department a call at 845-782-8583.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The electronic textile recycling.
All right, so the next Town of Monroe electronic textile recycling, shredding, and tire recycling event will take place on Saturday, November 1st, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Town Highway Garage, located at 87 Mine Road in Monroe. The event is open to Town of Monroe, Village of Monroe, and Village of Harriman residents only, and you must have valid ID. Paper shredding, no businesses, up to 4 boxes per resident will be accepted. Tire recycling, tires with rims will not be accepted. Electronic recycling, items accepted, cellular phones, computer DVD players, terminals, keyboards, monitors, printers, scanners, speakers, stereos, fax machines, televisions, VCRs, radios, modems, typewriters, batteries, CPUs, and laptops. Hard drives will be destroyed. Textile recycling for rewear, reuse, and recycling. Only accept items conditioned for all ages and genders so long as they are clean, dry, and odorless. And that is 9 to 12 on the 1st of November.
Councilwoman Hull? You have
Yes,
something else?
this week is Fire Safety Week, so to celebrate that, the Ladies Auxiliary from Lakeside Firehouse are selling the smoke detectors that light up in the shape of a dog's paw for $40. They will be outside of Stop and Shop all this week during like regular business hours, so you can see them in the afternoons there.
All right. Next item, item 4.1 is, I need a motion to open the public hearing regarding police services in the town.
Who will make that motion?
I'll second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Elisa?
Cardone, aye.
Who'll aye, I'm sorry.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so move. Madam Clerk, first speaker.
First speaker is B.J. Mendelson, followed by Carol Hawkshurst. Just a reminder, everyone will have 5 minutes to speak. We also ask that you do not remove the mic from the stand and that you speak clearly into the mic. Thank you.
That might be a little difficult.
Oh, wait, before you begin, I just want to let everyone know, tonight representing the town is Alex Shaw from the firm of Ferrick Nugent McCartney. Go ahead.
Great job. Ms. Pitzer, do you have your timer set?
Doing it right now.
Great, thank you. ICE is a secret police force controlled by a weak, sexually impotent, and cognitively declining authoritarian. And for once, I'm not talking about Tony Cardone. The 14th Amendment guarantees all people...
I have to interrupt a minute. I don't know if the mic is on.
You can't hear me?
Mic is on.
Mic is on. Can you hear me now? All right. The 14th Amendment guarantees all people, regardless of citizenship, the right to the full protection of our Constitution, including due process. That is not what is happening with ICE enforcement. When you forcefully take someone and deny them due process, that's called kidnapping. We have video evidence demonstrating the potential participation of the Orange County Sheriff's Department in these kidnappings provided by New York City ACLU. According to the United States Holocaust Museum, a concentration camp is defined as follows. The term concentration camp refers to a camp which people are detained or confined, usually under harsh conditions and without regard to legal norms of arrest and imprisonment that are acceptable in a constitutional democracy. A close examination of dozens of incidents reported throughout the country demonstrate that what we call an ICE detention facility is actually a concentration camp. That means the answer to the question, is Tony Cardone going to send you to a concentration camp, is yes, if he allows the Sheriff's Department to provide police services to the town of Monroe. Let me explain. Given the financial relationship between Orange County and ICE, can we count on the Sheriff's Department to question or even investigate ICE agents if asked to do so within a town? The answer is no, we can't. That protection must come from an independent agency with no financial ties to ICE, such as the Village of Monroe Police Department. In other municipalities, the police is starting to act as oversight for ICE, such as in Broadview, Illinois, where multiple investigations have been opened against ICE agents. Given the county's lucrative relationship with ICE, Monroe residents would be left with little to no oversight of ICE activities within the town, leaving them with no protection from ICE, Who then would be responsible for protecting us? Would it be Dory Houle? Dory, who, despite serving in the past as village liaison, repeatedly failed to notify village residents of threats to their health and safety. This includes at least 2 oil spills reported by the DEC that threaten Lake Mambasha, which provides drinking water to over 20,000 residents. Let's also not forget this time last year, Monroe residents were bombarded by advertisements from Dory saying she was a cop's wife who would get tough on crime. A racist dog whistle meant to imply that she would only get tough on crimes involving black and brown people. I can prove it. When was the last time Dory said anything about the FBI investigation to Steve Newhouse? Or would our protector be Tony Cardone, a man who, according to town employees, has been recorded referring to Latino members of the highway department as quote-unquote spics, or the same man who, when told about dangerous levels of hydrogen sulfide on children's playground, proceeded to cover it up for almost a decade? The facts are this: the best agency to protect the town residents right now is not the sheriff's department, it's the village police department. If Ms. Houle, Mr. Cardone, and Mr. Scancarello feel differently, and they approve of what ICE is doing in our community, they should say so this evening and face the consequences of doing so at the ballot box. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Here is Carol Hawkshurst, followed by Rabbi Roger Lerner. Okay.
Move it down the bottom of the list.
Rabbi Roger Lerner, followed by Nora, and I cannot pronounce the last name, my apologies. When you're done speaking, if you wouldn't mind coming up by me just so I can get clarification on your last
Carol,
name.
you're
Thank
going to
you.
go next, Carol. Good evening, Rabbi.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good.
So I had a phone call tonight about 6 p.m. by one of your residents who is Hispanic, legal, green card, didn't want to come because there's fear. It's not the first time I've heard of a resident being afraid to go out in public. Not just the residents, but the children. Children keeping their parents from going places, from going to the store, because they're afraid. And this is a shame and a black mark on our country as a whole, right? That our citizens, people who are immigrants who are here legally, are afraid to participate in our society. You have a lot of events going on, these fundraisers. They're not going to be attended by people who are afraid, because that's what happens when you have a culture of fear. You have, before you, you need police, right? This is something that you need. You need to have more policing. I understand that. But the problem is that it will create a larger atmosphere of fear. Because if you think about it, the community that might need it the most are the ones that won't reach out, because they're the ones that are going to be subject to immigration enforcement procedures that have become normalized. And the county sheriff is participating in that. And so your citizens, whom you represent, are afraid. That's why, I don't know, I'm only first, but I imagine that's why so many people are here. Because they know that the fear that's being churned up is real. Now, you have to do something, obviously, about policing. I think there has to be a better way. Because you can't have your own people afraid to go out of their homes, because that's what they are. We know what ICE is doing across the United States. And it's a shame. You know, I come here, I'm not in the town of Monroe or the village of Monroe. I serve a congregation, Monroe congregation there. And I am heartbroken at the stories that I hear about ordinary citizens here in our Hudson Valley that are suffering. I think, if we look at some of you may look at the Old Testament, my Jewish Bible, and say, well, we're supposed to be doing this. And the Bible kind of, if you are religious at all, your Old Testament tells you at least about 36 times that we are to welcome the stranger. The stranger is very specific in the text that it's not someone you don't know. It's someone who is an immigrant, and they didn't have illegal immigrants there. Anyone who was a stranger was an immigrant. You're supposed to take care of them. They're in the category of people, of widows and orphans, because those in the Bible were the most vulnerable. And you in charge of the town, as your responsibility, are to care for the most vulnerable citizens here. That's why you have police.
1 minute.
Thank you. The problem is when the police are part of the problem in their connection with ICE. Now, I've talked with Chief Guzman and was comforted by the fact that they don't coordinate necessarily with ICE, that they are separate. He's spoken to the Hispanic community. He's spoken at St. Anastasia to talk about what it means to be policing in the area and to express his support for the community. Not everyone can go to those. Not everyone can see that. People are scared, and I think they need you to be able to comfort them and say, we are behind you. And in so doing, not coordinate with the sheriff of Orange County. Thank you.
Rabbi.
My sermon for the day.
Carol Hawkshurst. After Carol Hawkshurst will be Nora.
Good evening, Town Board.
Evening, Carol.
My name's Carol Hawkshurst, Hawkshurst Road in Monroe. I appreciate what the rabbi shared. Working in a school district, I see that myself. But along with that, I think our town is in great need of law enforcement. Living in this community my entire life, I've seen a lot of issues with the traffic, the people that, the way they're driving, a lot of people complaining about it, and there's not enough police force on that end, and we need some kind of enforcement in our community. So I am in support of having the Orange County Sheriff's Department, policing the area more for the safety of the residents. So that is what I have to say on that piece.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
Next is Nora, followed by Kate Troiano.
I can see that speaking into the microphone is going to be a bit of a stretch for me, but
State your name, please.
yes, I'm Nora Staffanel. I am 81 years old and have lived in the village of Monroe since 1979. And since that time, I have been paying both village and town taxes. My 4 children are Monroe Woodbury graduates. The oldest is a contributing opinion writer at the New York Times. The second is a master's level librarian who lost her job due to the Doge cuts. The third, a lawyer, graduated from London School of Economics and from Harvard Law School the same year as Senator Ted Cruz. And the fourth designed software for investment banks. They owe their success to the Monroe Woodbury Public Schools. I am here tonight because I feel blindsided by the discovery that you are negotiating with the Orange County Sheriff's Department to provide police services for the town. The Village of Monroe Police know our community. They have no contract with ICE, the thugs who are lawlessly disappearing our friends and neighbors. But the Orange County Sheriff's Department does have a contract with ICE. In fact, the Orange County Jail houses more ICE detainees than any other detention center in the state, with the exception of the federal facility in Batavia and possibly lately the Nassau County Jail, where one detainee has already died. It is not a great leap to imagine that the people you want to police the town of Monroe will be assisting ICE in its illegal activities. You took an oath of office, and in that oath was the promise to uphold the Constitution, in which the 14th Amendment guarantees all people, regardless of citizenship, the right to the full protection of our Constitution, including due process. When the government wants to take something from you, whether your freedom, property, or benefits, due process is your constitutional guarantee that it must follow fair rules. When you take someone and deny them due process, that is not called law enforcement, that is called kidnapping. There is video evidence demonstrating the potential participation of the Orange County Sheriff's Department in these activities. I am happy to supply them if you need them. And so, I am asking you, please protect everyone in the town of Monroe from ICE incursions. There are too many instances of people legally residing here being taken by ICE. Right now, our brown and black-skinned friends and neighbors are most at risk. Soon, we will all be threatened simply for opposing ICE. I know this because I opposed them when they were in the village. I was told by a masked ICE agent that, quote, "we are protecting you," at the same time as he suggested that I not be there. I have always felt safe here. I never even locked the doors to my house until after my husband died. I am well protected by the Monroe Police. My children's father was a concentration camp survivor and who dealt with anxiety and depression by smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day.
1 minute.
I'm sorry? 1 minute, yeah, I'm almost done. Which killed him. All my life, I have believed that detention and concentration camps could never happen in this great country, but here we are. Please, protect us from ICE here in the town of Monroe. Don't waste our money on the Orange County Sheriff's Department. The Village of Monroe Police Department is more than up to the job. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Nora.
Kate Troiano. After Kate Troiano is Bruce Furbeck.
My name is Catherine Troiano. I've been a resident of the Village of Monroe for the last 20 years. Just last month, the Supreme Court ruled that racial profiling was legal and that ICE could stop people for perceived ethnicity, in other words, skin color. The court ruled that people could be stopped for speaking Spanish or working in certain industries. ICE has predictably used this ruling to step up their assaults on people they claim are here illegally. American citizens have also been arrested, people with green cards, people with protected status, etc. ICE agents routinely cover their faces, have no warrants, and fail to identify themselves. In Chicago, last Tuesday, ICE invaded an apartment building, zip-tied children, and generally terrorized the people in the building, including American citizens. In New York City last week, journalists were shoved by ICE agents, resulting in one being rendered unconscious and having to go to the hospital. ICE also accidentally tear-gassed the Chicago PD while clashing with protesters. As far back as 2017, an Inspector General's report found that ICE staff themselves reported insufficient training. Well, welcome to 2025, where poor training doesn't seem to be a problem as long as the ICE agents are sufficiently brutal and sadistic. In addition, ICE agents have no authority about anything except immigration. ICE has no authority over U.S. citizens. They do not belong in local law enforcement. The Orange County Sheriff's Department is contracted with ICE. I want nothing to do with them. Under Trump, ICE has become a terrorist organization. Isn't the town of Monroe covered by the state police? And if any additional law enforcement is necessary, why not work with the Village of Monroe Police? This contract with the Orange County Sheriff's Department is both unnecessary and unethical. We cannot do this. It is so wrong on so many levels, legally, morally, ethically, any way you want to call it. Thank you.
Bruce Furbeck, followed by Richard Troiano.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Furbeck, 8 Orchard Street, Monroe. I'm a lifelong Monroe resident. I have a little bit of a benefit. I'm also retired from the state police. I served nearly 21 years in the state police, with 6 of those years as the station commander of the State Police Barracks in Monroe. Out of that 21, about 17 of those years, I was assigned to Monroe as a trooper, besides being the station commander as a supervisor. I came in front of the town board probably 20 years ago and told you why I thought you should keep the state police. It didn't cost you anything extra. When I was there, we were a good tenant. And because we had anywhere from 18 to 35 troopers at hand at any given moment during the day, with a barracks in Monroe, we were able to provide adequate or beyond adequate service to the residents of the town of Monroe. Now, I retired from the state police in 2014. Something besides times changing and manpower dwindling with people wanting to be state troopers, things have changed here. People across Monroe, when they suffer a serious emergency, are now waiting hours or are basically told by the state police they can't respond. Now that's when people are calling 911 in the heat of an emergency looking for help, and things that have to change. Now, we've benefited because we have such a relationship with our municipalities that are contiguous with us, that the town of Chester Police, the town of Blooming Grove Police, the Village of Monroe Police, they'll respond into the town of Monroe for these emergencies and try to hold them down until a state police car is available. Now, I told the town board, not you guys, 20 years ago, that the state police would always guarantee a response, whether we had to send a car from Newburgh, Middletown, or from the Palisades Parkway, we would get a trooper rolling. Time is of the essence. It may not be as timely as you expect in an emergency, but that's gone by the wayside. The state police flat out now, from what I hear on my scanner, flat out say they're not responding or they're unavailable. And that's unacceptable when we rely on them as our town police provider. Now, I think it's great that you're finally taking a step in the direction. This is something we should have done 5 years ago. Would I prefer an IMA with another local police force? Absolutely. Does it have to be the Village of Monroe? If they don't want to do it, we could look at the town of Chester, we could look at the town of Blooming Grove Police. Anything that we're going to contribute toward their budgets would assist them with keeping their police departments. It's expensive to run a police department. And you guys know, I'm sure, the millions of dollars that it's going to cost, even if an IMA. Now, I don't know what you have planned with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, but I did see something earlier tonight about $750,000 possibly budgeted toward that. I don't know what you're going to provide. Typically, they like to answer 911 calls, but here in Monroe, I drive school buses now for the local school district. I probably put about almost 75 to 100 miles on the bus per day just driving around Monroe.
1 minute.
It's total chaos. We need vehicle and traffic enforcement, and that means we need police officers on the road, and we need police that are willing to make traffic stops and make this place safer. And besides the serious emergencies that we need the police to be able to respond. So I'm for anything, and I'm for anything to happen right away. We can't sit on this any longer. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Troiano, followed by Liam Weishart.
My name's Richard Troiano, and the people before me made such eloquent points on this. I'm just going to keep this very short. I just want to be on the record to say that I'm against the town of Monroe contracting with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, because the Orange County Sheriff's Department has contracted with ISIS. I don't know why the town board thinks that the Village of Monroe Police can't handle this, but what I want and what our citizens should have is equal protection. And a company that is associated with ISIS will not give equal protection to each and every citizen. Thank you.
Liam Weishart, followed by Michael Sussman.
Hello, members of the town board. My name is Liam Weishart from Harriman Heights Road. I just wanted to comment on the fact that the tentative budget was released 3 hours ago by the town supervisor and the town clerk. And that tentative budget shows a $1.5 million deficit that will come out of the town's fund balance in the next year if nothing is done. And it also earmarks $750,000 for policing. I don't think this is an acceptable cost to the residents to just be dropped on them like this. And it is honestly a financial time bomb being left for the next year after the election, when taxes will have to be raised by many tens of percentage points to just justify this presumably part-time policing that's going to come from the sheriff. Furthermore, it's not an investment in a local police force. It's rental cops. You're not buying cruisers, you're not training officers, you're not buying equipment, you're just renting it. So at the end of the year, you're back to square one anyway. So the town board should try harder to pursue an IMA with the village, or as Mr. Furbeck said, one of the neighboring municipalities, or perhaps should explore creating its own police force. But renting a police force, especially given the precarious budget situation, is not an acceptable solution. Thank you.
Michael Sussman, followed by Dan Burke.
Good day, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. I was called by 7 or 8 people who live in your town. I live in the neighboring town of Chester. In 1990, when I was on the Chester Town Board, I attempted to consolidate the village and town police agencies. I was almost hung from a chandelier at the then high school in Chester. There was no appetite for consolidation. There was an appetite for each of these local police agencies to protect themselves. I thought then, and I think now, that that is a regressive development, and that what you do need, particularly here in Monroe, which I know intimately from 35 years of living on LaRue Road in Chester, is a combined police force. I want to speak to you briefly about the Sheriff's Department and why I believe it's an inappropriate agency to contract with. I'm not going to speak about ICE because you've heard about ICE and we all know what is going on nationally with ICE. But I have experience with the department, which is, as you know, run by an elected official, a sheriff. The current sheriff came into office with an avowed purpose of terminating those who had opposed him politically. He did that at the highest levels of the department. Now, of course, he can appoint an undersheriff, that's expected. But with regard to investigative services, intelligence, and other major functions, he purged the sheriff's department of those people with historic knowledge and appointed persons who were his political supporters. Now he's an elected official, so the courts say at high levels he can do that. My view is that that is not the kind of institution which should be running local policing. We do not want to politicize law enforcement. I see signs, law enforcement for this candidate, law enforcement for that candidate. That's reprehensible. Law enforcement, like our military, must be politically neutral. You've heard all sorts of discussions about ICE, all of which I endorse and are true. You're not contracting with ICE, you're contracting with the Sheriff's Department, however, and the Sheriff's Department is a highly politicized instrument in this county. And it should be avoided by localities, which have to be, from a law enforcement point of view, neutral, not politicized. Local police chiefs are not elected. They're appointed, and they're accountable to a village board or a town board, or it might be to both. You should, in my view, consolidate with the village. The village has a proud history of policing. I did once have to sue one of the village police chiefs and got punitive damages after he groped one of his female officers, but I think we're beyond that, hopefully, in the village now. We have strong leadership and professional leadership. And my view is that that's the proper approach. And I was happy to hear the gentleman with the long experience in the state police say something similar. The last thing I would like to say is this. Structurally, the Sheriff's Department is not a local police agency. It does not have the chain of command of a local police agency and is not organized to provide policing services like those you need in a community. The state police ought to be providing the services that, from a constitutional point of view in New York State, they are supposed to be providing. The Constitution indicates and the Charter indicates to the state police that where a town does not have a police agency, the state police is supposed to be here. If they're not here, you have ample state representatives, Mr. Skoufis, you have a state assemblyman. From my point of view, you should be in touch with them and finding out, excuse the expression, where the hell the state police are. The state police ought to be here responding. I heard the gentleman's description of their lack of response. That's reprehensible. They ought to be here. And from my point of view, it's not a political matter. The governor's a Democrat. The people in control of the state police are Democrats. If they're not doing what they need to do for your community, you need to insist they do it. So, in summary, I think contracting with an agency that has no authority, and I know of no precedent in Orange County, and I've been active in the county for 40 years. I know of no precedent of the county by which a county sheriff's department has been brought into a local community to provide basic police services. You shouldn't be the first. I know of many precedents in the county where villages and towns share a police agency. There's no reason you can't do it. You have responsible village police leadership, and I believe that's the direction you ought to go in. Thank you very much.
Dan Burke.
Hi, all. Yeah, hi, Dan Burke. I'm an elder statesman, Rye Hill Road, Village of Monroe, Town of Monroe. Good evening, everybody. 3/5 of the board presented an IMA to the Village of Monroe, the mayor and the trustees. Can I get a copy of that? Do the taxpayers of the town outside the villages want a police force? How much are they willing to pay, and what would they be paying for? I think for a step forward like this, to spend that much money, I think you need a referendum. And then you'll be meeting again with village officials, I understand, and I would ask that when you go to see them, you take with you Councilwoman Mary Bingham and Councilwoman Maureen Richardson. And there's an IMA or a contract with the sheriffs. Can we get a copy of that? Can I see that? I'd like to read that ahead of time. And there's some time constraints here. You have one more meeting on the 20th of October. Mail balloting in the next election has already begun. The early voting begins on Saturday, October 25th. the voters may install a new, change the composition of the board. So I think you should table this until January and handle it more carefully. And also get an outside consultant, get a report this thick, tell us all about police protection, law enforcement, and let the citizens read it 2 weeks before you have the meeting on it, not after the meeting. And one other thing, and this is a basic law that you're violating, don't spend money you don't have.
That's all for public comment.
That's it?
I know there was a gentleman who just walked in who I saw gave a presentation at the Village of Monroe meeting. I just wanted to extend to the board if he'd like to speak on this issue. Can we allow that? I don't know if he would like to speak on this policing issue.
I don't know who just walked in. Would you like to speak? All right, come on up, just sign in with the clerk, and then we'll allow you to speak.
Eduardo Blanco.
Out of copies.
We're out, Val.
I guess no time like the present, huh?
Yeah. State your name, please.
Eduardo Blanco. Sorry I'm late. I was invited to this earlier, but
That's okay.
I was trying to escape from my store. Somebody reached out to me that you guys are having a meeting today about bringing in sheriffs as policing here because of whatever budget reasons you guys are having. I think that would be a big mistake, honestly. First off, if you see who gets the biggest kickback in the state from immigration, it would be the sheriffs. Anybody getting arrested would be the sheriffs. So let's say you pull over someone for a suspicious of a DUI. Where are they going to take them? Not the local precinct to process them. They're going to take them straight to OCJ to process them, where they're going to get a kickback from the state for it. Anybody now that they feel like is here illegally, they're going to get harassed even more by a sheriff, which is one of my main concerns. And where are they going to take them? Straight to OCJ, where they have a section for immigration. You can't let the guy who's getting the riches off of it be the one who's policing it as well. It's, to me, the biggest mistake in the world. It's like they are, metaphorically speaking, zookeepers who are at a zoo, and you want them to come and become babysitters and after-school program directors. You can't mix both of them. They're used to dealing with people on a higher aggravated scale. They're not gonna bring their sunshines and daisies over here when they're pulling over your random neighbor who accidentally forgot something and might have passed the red light. Might have got a little too fast because they're going to pick up the kids because they're running late. I mean, it's to me, I feel like it's apples or oranges. It's a mistake. One. Two, I have seen other towns work with surrounding towns before. I used to live in a town of Florida 20 years ago. After, I think it was like 8 o'clock, the Florida PD stopped working, so the collective, I think it was Warwick, Chester, and Goshen would come in, and I think the Quick Check was their destination, where they all met up and helped out the town. I mean, I don't see why the towns can help out neighboring towns, neighbor help a neighbor. That would be a better thing because, like I said, at the end of the day, local police officers like Monroe, they do take that extra mile to find out who is in their neighborhood, who is their community, who they have to take out an extra look or keep an extra eye out for because maybe they have some kind of disability that needs some kind of help. You can't just bring someone who's been dealing with jerks all day and throwing them around in cages and, yeah, go be nice to the lovely old lady that suffers from dementia and doesn't know what she's doing in the middle of the street. It's to me, I feel like it's ridiculous. It's like going backwards. One. Two, I think they have more on their plate than what they have to deal with, which we should hold them responsible for, instead of letting them start to get a kickback from our town. It's like rewarding them for not doing their job. I'm pretty sure you guys seen a video. I saw what was supposedly FBI agents and immigration looking around buildings by my business for supposedly an investigation, they said. First off, I know for a fact it's law that any type of policing state person has to identify themselves. Because I don't know if they're kidnappers or not. At the end of the day, I had the argument with them. I'm saying I need at least a badge because the Sixth Amendment allows you to, face off your accusers in court. So if you don't have a badge number, how can I say badge number da-da-da-da, threw me this way, that way, hit me this way, that way? I had an argument with these people. Never want to show nothing. I've been looking online steadily every day because that's public information on who gets arrested. I have not seen an arrest for none of these people. So my theory I'm going on is they're probably bounty hunters just trying to pick up random people to make money off of. And this is the crazy thing. If they're letting them get away with it, I haven't seen no sheriffs look for them because sheriffs don't look for people like this. And these people are committing federal crimes because it is a federal crime to
1 minute.
act like a police officer or any type of agency that's in a policing state. And second off, it's dangerous because when you let a criminal get away with a little bit of leeway, who's to know who they're going to kidnap next? Who's to know what else is happening? Because you guys don't see as much stuff as we see on our Spanish news as in the English channels news where people are talking about their kids are missing, their relatives are missing. Who's to know they're not kidnapping and God forbid, now they're trafficking them? We have to have these higher agencies like the sheriffs and all that first do their job first and make sure they're doing their job instead of say they're doing their job and then come over here and collect money off of us too. I think that's ridiculous. If anything, we should reach out to our neighboring towns and see how we can help each other out. Because if not, we're just going to throw more fire to the flame and more chaos. And trust me, everybody knows what happens after a lot of chaos. You guys see what's been happening in California. And that's all it took was a little bit of chaos, added to more chaos, to more chaos, to more chaos. And
Time.
there you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up.
That's all for public comment.
You can give that to the clerk. Give that to the clerk. She'll make copies for us. Thank you very much. Comment? Board?
I wanted to say about a month ago, I don't remember the lady's name, she came and she mentioned ICE and how children were afraid to go to school. And at that time, I said, that's very damaging to the children and their families. It's not appropriate because they are living in fear. And we should be sending our children to school to learn. We should not be keeping them at home because they are afraid. So I agree that maybe certain organizations we should not consider since they might be tied in with ICE because, again, I don't feel that the way some of the I don't even know what to call it, people said kidnappings. I'm not sure that's the right word. I'm not sure how the families can cope with that. So I'm very impressed with the number of residents that came out today, and thank you very much for speaking about it in greater detail. Thank you.
Aren't we going down the line? Okay. It's not the normal order, but I'm totally willing to put on the record, like I have previously, that I feel that the process for the contract being arranged by a consultant who the board never formally voted on to retain, operating beyond the scope of all 5 members of this board, basically behind closed doors, not transparent, not accountable to members of the public, not accountable to us, negotiated this agreement, which I am able to access for basically the first time myself, so I need to take a deeper look at it. So I'm innately suspicious and also dislike the idea of Monroe becoming a police state overnight when, let's be honest, for everyone who was born and raised in Monroe, we all talk about the trouble that we got up to, the donuts that we might have done on the road in the middle of the night. There is a certain charm to Monroe having the state police who know us, who know not to be too heavy-handed with any of us, with any of our kids. They know our customs, our traditions, our prom night activities, and to have that kind of local PD also available to step in and obviously has always covered our local village residents. The town outside village, the unincorporated portion of Monroe, we only have state police. And I've heard a lot about how the state police and their policies have changed, but I have not heard a sufficient amount of information that says that this board and our state police liaison, Supervisor Tony Cardone, has appropriately advocated to question why are wait times so long? Why are we not being appropriately covered? Do we not have rights as the unincorporated town relying on these services? I think that's a wonderful point. Why have we not advocated? Why is this just coming out now when I know that Rob Furbeck, who spoke, I have been following him and his posts about policing for years now. I came in as a council person in 2024 in January, and I had actually spoken as an activist prior to that about the fact that wait times at that point were often 30 minutes. So that wasn't new then. It's not new now. The only thing that is new now is that it's another election year. So I think that the town of Monroe deserves better than a rushed agreement with the Orange County Sheriff literally a month before an election, where we have put on the record time and time again that policing is deeply personal. We want to host, I want to host, I believe the public, it resonates with them, a workshop where this room is packed. The camera might not be pointed at the audience, but I'm sure looking at it and every seat is filled, we had to take out chairs and place them out so that everyone could be heard tonight and listen tonight to what was going on here. And I would expect that if we properly publicized a police workshop, that it would be similarly well attended. People in this town deserve to have options between Blooming Grove, Chester, those towns, neighboring communities. Did we have thoughtful conversations? Because I haven't seen evidence of a single thoughtful conversation except from, we wanted to get this done right before in October. That's my impression, and again, as a board member, I'm deeply disappointed that all board members were not kept apprised of this. I've personally made it my job to speak with Mayor Dwyer, with trustees on the village board, if they would be open to an IMA, and they are in part open to an IMA. They certainly are not open to a demand.
1 minute.
They are wanting a thoughtful negotiation process. They are wanting more data. They are wanting facts. They are not wanting basically a political appointee consultant who has already basically publicly declared that he's running against our mayor at the first possible opportunity as the policing consultant, who is proposing the IMA, again, without our full board approval, without actual official appointment by the board or retainment on any contract at all. It's just kind of a thumbed nose to the village, and there was never any expectation that that was of a good faith agreement. Are they open to a good faith agreement? Absolutely, and I believe that there are meetings set for this week to discuss that further. So why are we hosting this public hearing now? I would say political timing and posturing. So thank you.
I don't even know where to start. Thank you all for your comments. I've taken a lot of notes on that, and we have listened to every single one of you. It is true that I was the liaison to the Monroe Police Department when I was a village trustee, and there is nothing that I would want more than to have the Monroe Police Department police the town of Monroe. And those have been conversations that have been had with the police department. This is not easy. This is not an easy decision. This is not an easy negotiation. And what was presented in the public hearing tonight wasn't meant as a this is the final draft and we're approving it tonight, because to my knowledge.
Hearing will remain open.
So all of your comments are going to be listened to. We are not making a decision on this tonight. We are going to proceed with talking with all of the police agencies surrounding us, as we already have. We've had conversations with Blooming Grove and with Woodbury and with Tuxedo. Incidentally, the town of Monroe will not be the first agency who has entertained coverage from the sheriff's office. The town of Tuxedo used them on the overnights for quite some time. They also provided coverage for the village of Walden for quite some time, so we would not be the first one. But again, like I said before, we've listened to every single one of your words, and we're going to use that in our decision-making process.
Okay, I'm going to reiterate that. Our main goal from the start, back in March, was the Village of Monroe, and it is still our main goal. We want to use the Village of Monroe. But when you hit a roadblock and you're not getting responses from the village, and I'm not going to name names, when we're trying to negotiate it, and I have emails that prove it, that I was not responded to in the early part of July and then the early part of August when I requested meetings. So as far as that goes, if we do approve the sheriffs, it will be on a temporary basis, and the sheriffs are aware of that. The sheriffs understand we want to work with the municipality in our town. Our goal as board members is, if we're going to pay for something, we want it to go to taxpayers already in our municipality. So while I appreciate everyone's comments, there's a lot of falsities out there with respect to what has actually happened. And I'm not going to get into details of contracts. The contract was put to the board at the last meeting in executive session. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not the first time it's been out there. And it's been back and forth with our consultant, who was approved by this board. He's not paid, he was approved by this board. And Mr. Sussman, I just want to say, your comment about politicizing the sheriff's office, you're the one that's using the former undersheriff in your political ads. And I might add, you better learn how to spell undersheriff. There's only one R in it, not two.
Yeah, that was political.
Can you?
All right, let's retain order, please.
So I'm going to make a motion to keep the public hearing open to our next meeting on October 20th.
Who will second?
Discussion?
At 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter?
Discussion?
No discussion.
Yes, that
No
is
discussion.
the Roberts Rules of Order. Yes, it is
no-
the Roberts Rules of Order. I retain the floor. I called discussion.
No discussion.
Yes,
Call
that
the
is
question.
Roberts Rules of Order.
Councilwoman.
I retain the
Councilwoman is
floor.
correct with the discussion.
Yes.
She called discussion.
No, there's no.
That is how it works.
We're
Point of order.
keeping a
Point of
public
order.
hearing open.
Point of
We're
order.
keeping a public
But keeping
hearing
a public
open.
hearing open.
It's got nothing to do with discussion on
It's
it.
seconded, and then I
Counsel,
motioned for discussion.
Counsel.
If I may be heard, if the motion is simply to keep the public hearing open, the discussion, if there is any, would be limited just to the motion to keep the public hearing open.
Yes.
It wouldn't be on the underlying
And
topic.
I called discussion. So you're trying to pre-censor me
All
and not
I-
allow discussion.
I haven't censored
So you wanna
anybody.
close
All I
it?
said was
You
the
wanna
I
discussion
want
would
to
have to be
call
limited.
discussion and discuss the motion to keep the public hearing open. I've called discussion. Thank you.
I will give you 30 seconds.
Actually, I will retain the full amount
No,
that I am authorized
I'm
under
running the
New York
meeting,
State
Councilwoman
to do so.
Richardson. I'm giving you 30
No.
seconds.
The fact,
Go ahead.
Please refrain from yelling. Please refrain from yelling. Please refrain from yelling. I am following the rules. You have 30 seconds, Councilwoman
I have as much
Richardson.
time as authorized in
All
the
right, I'm calling the question.
rules of comment,
Counsel-
order, and I retain my time. Thank you, Speaker. In order of discussion, we are a possible motion to keep open the public hearing regarding police services in the town of Monroe. It was discussed in executive session that this was already decided upon, that the police would be retained, and that it would be kept open until the next board meeting, the second board meeting for October, the third Monday, where it will be closed because they have already decided to budget the precise contract that he referenced.
No.
Yes, the precise contract that's dated September 19th. The public hearing will be closed. It's already signed by the sheriff.
Keep fabricating lies.
These details that he's refusing to discuss and censoring me from discussing, which is of utmost public importance. And every person on this board has the right to their time when I finish mine. Will be closed.
I'm going to call a
At
question.
the second
Councilwoman Bingham?
meeting
If
for
you
the
don't wanna vote,
October.
Councilwoman Scancarello?
And they've already decided,
Aye.
and it was already
Councilwoman
discussed
Wu?
privately in
Okay.
executive session.
Motion passes.
It was already illegally discussed privately in executive session against the open meetings
Okay.
law because no contract negotiations can occur
Okay.
outside public meetings law. So everything that you've
Councilwoman
seen here
Richardson,
tonight
you're
is a
out of
pretty
order.
desperate
Please.
attempt. You're actually the only one out of order, Speaker. And if we had a real board, we would vote to remove you temporarily as
Did
Speaker.
have a real board prior
do
to
not.
2023.
Oh, Mike McGinn would be so happy with this. All right. So if anybody here is highly concerned about the retaining of
going
the
to
Orange
make a
County Sheriffs,
motion
please come back
To open
for
the
the second Town of Monroe meeting.
public hearing
in
for the
October.
benefit assessment
Thank
rolls
you.
in relation to the 2026 budget.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Madam Clerk?
No public comment.
No comment?
No
No
public
public
comment.
comment? Okay. Do you, what say you, Madam Clerk, as to keeping it open or closing it? Did you want to keep it open or close it?
If there's no public comment and you want to close it, we're fine to close it.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the benefit assessment rolls in relation to the 2026 budget.
I'll second.
Call the question. No, you're not running the meeting. I'm running the meeting.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay? Call the question.
Bingham, nay.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
I'm
moved.
sorry, can we just repeat? We're motioning to close the benefit assessment rules, 4.3?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
I do have the tentative budget to present to the board at this time.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, you have the tentative town budget here. I will be making a presentation on this budget at the next meeting. What we have to do tonight is approve the elected official salaries. So I'd like to go down the line. So the current town council members make $17,834.40. The supervisor is at $80,740. The justices are $43,367, and the clerk is $63,940, and the highway super is $96,000. What is the feeling of the board?
My sense is that we should leave the salaries flat for this year.
I'll second that.
So I make a motion that the elected officials see no raise.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Do we have to certify that we received this first? Make a motion that we received this? Because I remember that that's the procedure.
Councilwoman We received it, it was presented by the clerk. We don't
Last year, we
have,
made a motion.
we don't have to make a resolution on that.
Okay,
There's no legal requirement for a motion to
Okay.
certify that you received it.
thank you.
Call the question then?
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
I say yes, but I also want a limitation on supervisors' stipends, which are exempt from that motion.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Yes or no?
I said yes.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, next up is the item 5.1, acceptance of the September 15, 2025 minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Next one up is the general fund abstract. I'll make a motion, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Monroe request approval of abstract number 25-17, totaling, containing checks 37338 through 37407, totaling $481,386.98.
Pool second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
So moved. Sorry, you want to do the next one while I get there?
Okay, 6.2 is the escrow abstract. I make a motion that the town board of the town of Monroe requests approval of abstract number 25-13, escrow fund containing checks number 2,225 to 2251, totaling $30,386.47.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Excuse me.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Okay, so moved. Item 8.1, I'm sorry, no. Cash transfer abstract. Madam Clerk, do you have that? Because I do not have that cash transfer abstract in my, just give me a second here, packet, sorry.
So it would be a motion for cash transfer in the amount of, hang on, $960,000 regarding investment funds.
Cash transfer is $960,000?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's
I'll make-
number 2025-08.
Okay, I'll make that motion. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Okay, so moved. Next up, 9.1, is a short-term rental application.
Supervisor, hold on one second. We need the budget transfer abstract.
I'm sorry, yep, 8.1, sorry. I'll make a motion to approve the budget transfer abstract 2025-10. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Monroe approves budget transfer abstract 2025-10 totaling $45,490.02 for 2025 expenditure adjustments.
Bingham, second for discussion.
Go ahead.
I'm not quite sure what the town council contractual is for, or supervisors PS full-time employment for $39,000 is for. If I could just have some clarification on that.
Personal services for full-time employees and part-time employees, and the town council contractual is more about any advertisements that go into the notices and papers.
The legal notices,
Yeah, legal
therefore.
notices, yeah.
Thank you.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, now, item 9.1 is a short-term rental application for 95 Walton Terrace. Review and discussion regarding the short-term rental application for 95 Walton Terrace. Are you the owner, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
My name's Michael Dye.
What's your name?
Michael Dye.
Okay. Thanks for coming down. Appreciate it.
Got pretty hot in here.
Is there anything you'd like to tell us regarding that?
Made the application about a little over a year ago, and it's just in the process still of approval. I think we're in the final stages, I guess.
So what'll happen is there were no objections that were made, and I think at the next meeting, your firm will prepare a resolution with the 5 factors associated with the STR, and then we'll approve it at the next meeting.
Okay.
Certainly.
Okay.
Next month?
That's just the process.
All right.
All right?
No problem.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 9.2, Councilman Scancarello, you want to go over that?
Oh, yes. Trunk or Treat is scheduled for, this is a Monday night, what is it, October
27.
27th from 6 to 8 p.m. at O&R Park. It is a rain or shine event. I believe, Val, you've already started getting your trunks in order, right?
Yes, we
put
have
the
7
application
registered
out.
so far.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of food trucks there. It's a great event. Setup for the vendors will be at 4 p.m. There'll be candy, food, music, and hay rides, and the deadline to sign up is October 22nd.
I am looking for a resolution approving this.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the Town of Monroe Trunk or Treat for Monday, October 27th from 6 to 8 p.m.
At O&R Park.
at O&R Park.
Who will second?
Call the question?
Hingham, aye.
Ancarello, aye.
Pardon, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
You all right, Mary? All right, so moved. Next up, Councilwoman Hull, you want to go over the teenager trends?
Yes. So we haven't done this in a little while, but it's coming back again. The Monroe Woodbury High School hosts a Monroe Woodbury Community Coalition in which they keep parents and teenagers up to date on trends regarding mental health issues and drugs and alcohol awareness. So we will be hosting the Teenager Trends presentation on November 20th right here in Town Hall. This will be a presentation for teenagers, children, parents, siblings, grandparents, anyone who's interested in keeping their kids safe about what our children are seeing in the stores, in the schools. There will be Narcan training with this?
I
Believe so.
think Liam
They've
wanted
done-
to do that.
They've done Narcan training in the past with this. So I'd like to make a motion approving the Teenager Trends presentation for November 20th at the Town Hall Meeting Room. And with that motion, I'd also like to waive the fee.
I'll second that.
Call the question?
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. Okay, item 9.4 is the Monroe Conservation Commission request to host a repair cafe. They did one recently. It was a great success. I'm going to make the motion. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Monroe makes a motion to approve the request of Monroe Conservation Commission to organize and host a repair cafe at Monroe Town Hall on Saturday, December 6, 2025, in conjunction with the Repair Cafe Hudson Valley. It'll be at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Certificate of insurance has been provided, and that's really it. Thanks to Dennis Fordham, our conservation chair, for taking care of all this.
Poole will second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Pardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Okay, this is item 9.5, a request for the permit application refund, 2025-109. So what happened was a homeowner actually applied for a building permit, got a price quote from the builder. They applied for the building permit, and then the price changed. So in the code, it states that they're entitled to a 50% refund of the fee paid. Our building department did do a little bit of work going over everything, and Ben has suggested that the refund amount to Meridian Construction Creations is $2,190. So I'll put that in a motion.
Second.
So I just want to go into the details of it. So the building permit application fee of 2025-109 at 102 Highland Road, SBL 36-7-6.2. Like I said, the owner decided not to move forward, so in the Town of Monroe Building Code, they're entitled to a 50% refund, which is $2,190. Then you seconded it, Councilman Scangarello? Okay. Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
If there's any other students out there, you guys are welcome to leave, because I know you're going to go home and you're going to finish doing your homework. So, please.
You don't have to leave. You can stay if you'd like.
Yeah, you can stay. Just please refrain from shouting out, because it's rude to everybody in the audience. It's not rude to us. So I know there's a young girl in the back. If you want to go home, you're welcome to go home. If you want to stay, you're welcome to stay.
You can bring
No,
bring
it's
your
already
stuff
signed.
up. Oh,
So-
it is.
they signed it, yeah.
Did you get yours signed? No, come on up. We'll sign it for you. This way you could.
We can't drive past it.
Yeah.
That one too?
Thank you. Bye, girls. Have a good night. Thank you.
Drive safe.
Okay, item 9.6 is a request for a permit application, performance bond release, SBL 3-1-19.2. It's a resolution approving the release of a performance bond provided to guarantee the work for the project related to construction of the 100-foot monopine wireless communications tower at 24 Strauss Lane. As a result of a site visit on September 16th, the planning board engineer has recommended the release of this performance bond. The building inspector is in agreement. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
I'm sorry, Sal, did you second that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you were given a road improvement, you're welcome, thank you.
Good night.
You were given a road improvement petition tonight that was
Yes.
submitted for the Seven Springs realignment.
9.7.
Oh, the return of escrows
Oh,
for 24
My
Raywood
bad.
Drive.
I got to tell you, it's so hard getting used to this new. All right. 9.7, return, my fault. Return to escrow driveway permit, 9.7, 24 Raywood Drive. Highway Department requests approval to return the escrow amount of $5,000 for driveway permit 2024-3. The driveway has been inspected and found to meet all current town code standards. I'll make that motion.
Bingham to second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next up is the road improvement petition for Seven Springs realignment. So when you come off Seven Springs Mountain Road and you make a right, there was, I think the total was 16 acres that were basically clear cut. A new developer has purchased it, and what he's looking to do is that road is like a snake for probably 3/4 of a mile, and he's looking to straighten it out. You should have plans in there as well, and he's paying for it. So what happened was when this was initially cut, the trees which provided shade to the road were not there anymore, and because the sun was beating down on it, all the oils from the road came to the surface, and it was actually caking up on people's tires. Our highway superintendent then, Pat Patterson, went out and he put a coating of pavement on the road to alleviate the problem, and now we're here to try to get it realigned at no cost to the town. So I would review this, and we'll bring it up again at our next meeting on the 20th.
Okay.
Okay. 9.9 is amendment to the Town of Monroe fee schedule, tree removal permit fees and mitigation fees. I don't know who added this to the agenda, so was it you? No. Councilwoman Bingham?
So this is,
The building
this has to do with the Conservation Commission, and currently with the fee schedule, with the new tree code, apparently the building department cannot charge, I guess, issue fines?
Yes, so I have actually been in touch with Ben about this, and he emailed all of us, and it's either Brian who placed this on the agenda because Ben reached out, or he reached out to Jen. But essentially, we approved the tree law. We did not make a tree fee schedule. So while it is illegal to do all of the proposed actions in our code, if you cut a tree without a permit, et cetera, there is no fee schedule for the building inspector / code enforcement officer to enforce. So we need to create or adopt the fee schedule that went along with said tree law approval. It doesn't have to open up the tree law public hearing because the law is designed in such a way where the fee schedule is separate. So we did receive an email about this, I want to say a few weeks ago. I want to say there was a tree fee schedule floating around at the same time. It can be changed basically at the will of the board, as with any, adopted fee schedule. So it's convenient that way, but it does need to be done.
It has to do with Section Town Code 57-89, and also, if we were going to do that, we should also, there's supposed to be a notice that goes to the town clerk, and that's in 57-83. So I suggest that maybe we table this until the next meeting, and then everybody
fine.
can look those two sections
Make
over.
that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table till October 20th.
I'll second. Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Cardone, aye.
Well, aye.
I just want to make sure we're working on it, though, for as soon as possible, but I agree we should table it. So Richardson, aye.
9.10 is a sole source vendor resolution. Okay, this comes through the recent Eagle Scout project. So we had an Eagle Scout who did a project for Monbassia Park. Monbassia Park sign is absolutely spectacular. We've gotten a lot of compliments on it. Everybody that's up there is really happy with it, that sees it. So because they own the rights to the design artwork, if we went out to bid, not only would it take time, probably really like 4 months, but it will be an issue, and I'm sure the price would go up. I did get phone quotes on the sign, and they were higher than the $3,500 per sign here, and that includes installation and the structure to hold the sign up. So I spoke to our auditors and asked them if there was a process for this, and they obviously agreed that there was a sole source vendor with our attorney, and I believe there is a resolution, which I'm trying to find.
Is this,
What was the
That?
handout?
Little sticky note on it.
I know, yeah. Okay, thank you, I got it. So, I'll read the resolution. It's a resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Monroe authorizing execution of a contract with Signorama as a sole source vendor for town signage. Where, I'll read the now therefores. Now therefore be it resolved that the whereas clauses are incorporated herein as set forth in full. Section 2, the town board hereby authorizes, no, you got to read it.
yes, because you have to sign.
Yeah.
So the above whereas clauses are incorporated herein as if set forth in full. Town Board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute a contract with Signarama for the purchase of additional town signage at an estimated cost not to exceed $28,000 as a sole source procurement under New York State law. The town supervisor and any other officer or employee as directed by the town supervisor is hereby authorized to take any and all necessary actions to carry out the provisions of this resolution. This resolution shall be effective immediately. I make a motion that we authorize the town supervisor to enter into a contract with Signarama for the purchase of those, I believe it's 6 additional signs.
Second. Bingham, aye.
Cancarello, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Item nine, no, okay, yeah, I got it, thank you, though. Item 911 is an engineering agreement with Water District 14 for Water District 14 improvements. I spoke with council last week. We're waiting. There are some issues that he has with the agreement, which we have discussed in the past. So that till next contract came in, and there were a couple of clauses in there, and the rates were not set rates. So we wanted to clear that up.
Table till 10:20.
Yeah.
Make the motion that we table it till 10:20.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Next up, 9.12, janitorial services agreement. It's really just discussion. We have the ability to extend it for a year, or we have the ability to go out to bid.
I think the town, all the other facilities have been happy with their service.
I haven't heard any complaints or seen anything that has been not according to the previous contract, so.
So I'll make a motion to extend the janitorial services of DOC cleaning through the 2026 year. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. We just, item 9.13, we need a resolution approving the intermunicipal agreement for municipalities and the Moodna Commission. I'll let Councilwoman Bingham handle this one.
Sure. There are municipalities, town of Monroe being one, the town of Chester and the village of Chester, and we all participate in Orange County Sewer District 1. We pay extra fees to them. But every 5 years, these IMA has to be renewed, and we just reached that 5-year mark this year. So we need to have the supervisor sign this. So once I get my computer to load up, unless Val pulls it up before me, we need to pass a resolution, whereas...
What's up on the screen currently, Val? If you could just scroll that down a little bit more.
Yeah.
No, not that side, the other side.
Document itself.
It's the actual document, yeah.
That one, yep.
That's not going to be there. It's nothing there. What are we looking for?
We're looking for the resolution where we ask the supervisor to sign this so that the town of Monroe can still participate.
As detailed.
Yeah. Yes.
If you look at the screen, I mean, there's a resolution right there.
Thank you. I'm looking for, I went through the IMA. Yeah. Okay, so the resolution approving the authorizing, oh gosh, tonight I really need the glass of water. Resolution approving and authorizing the supervisor to sign the intermunicipal agreement for the municipalities in the Moodna Commission, which includes the town of Chester, the town of Monroe, the village of Monroe. The Moodna Commission has approved the updated agreement. I'll make that motion that the supervisor can sign.
South.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Item, item 10.1, I'm going to combine this with 10.2. We received letters from both the Village of Monroe and the Village of Harriman regarding the tax exemption request of items 3 and 4 in the town highway budget. Last year, we did exempt the villages from brush and weeds. There was the machinery aspect of it, which is item 3. That totals $486,152. And then when you get to brush and weeds, brush and weeds is $156,400.
So I think the villages would also like to know how much this would save their taxpayers. Is there a way to figure that out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to get the assessors.
Mike.
I'm $156,400. I'll give you a number next time.
Sure.
If you want to table it till next time?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to say it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, hold on. About $40. But that's a real guess, but per household. But I'll get the exact number for you.
Thank you.
So I'll make a motion to table that to next meeting.
I wanted to discuss, we were
Do
like
it-
freely
do I have a
discussing
second?
something and.
I'll second. We have a second.
So
Hold on.
discussion.
No discussion when you're
Yes,
tabling an item.
that's
No.
not-
That's-
so you
that- that-
allowed
that's
a board
Robert's
member
Rules
to
of
bring
Order.
up a
You
free
can talk.
comment.
You can talk afterwards. Let's pass the tabling of it.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Bingham?
Aye.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Aye.
Richardson, aye to table. In regards to this, as I believe we need the time in advance to assess this, it came up last board meeting as well, that the issue of allowing or not allowing the Village of Monroe and now potentially the Village of Harriman, I don't know if that's even related to the compost facility, if they ever had access, though I know it's the Village of Monroe, certainly, that as a town, it's my understanding of New York State municipal law that we are responsible to our villages, whereas a village, if they acquired a parcel of land, can prohibit town outside village residents from, say, using a village-owned park and restrict access to just village residents. A town-owned municipal park or similarly landfill, it's my understanding or concern that we are not allowed to prohibit village residents from accessing that land and providing that service to them because it's our innate responsibility as a town. So while a village can prohibit use for town-only residents, we cannot prevent use for village residents. I would like that to be researched in advance of
If you would like to do the research on the law, I'd be happy to allow you to do
I would
that.
like the town attorney also to just validate this. I don't know that I'm personally going to be able to find opinions on this, but I'm sure it'll be easy for Brian to answer this question. I'll continue looking it up. What I saw is that I know it's true for parks. I do not know, unless it was specifically dedicated. Let me see, I did a little summary of something I found.
Alec, can you just make a note on that and have you, Brian, or Matt?
If it was funded
Yeah,
entirely
that's not a problem, as long as the board wants me to.
by a town outside village district, I synthesized some documents I'd found. The only way that we could prohibit them from using it, and this district I know does not exist, is if it was funded entirely by a town outside village district when it was purchased. So we have a ton of garbage districts, everything like that, that are, contained within those districts. We do not have that. If we have perhaps documentation certifying that when the town purchased it in, I don't know, the 70s, whenever that was, that it came specifically only from the town outside village fund, it would create that case. However, just because the town of Monroe is listed as the principal on the deed does not mean that we have the right to limit our village residents' access to said service. And that is my case there. Thank you.
Public comment?
Supervisor, before public comment, I'd like to bring a motion from the floor. I am looking for a motion to approve Barbara Singer as a deputy registrar with a term to expire of 12/31/2025. That would be to assist with death certificates in the
Okay,
office.
I'll make that motion. Call the question?
Discussion, would there be any change in salary?
No.
No, okay. Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
So moved. Okay. Public comment?
Public comment. First speaker is Liam Weishart, followed by B.J. Mendelson. Just a reminder, you'll have 3 minutes to speak, and please do not touch the mic and just speak into the mic clearly. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Liam Weishart again. I was reviewing the budget that was posted about 3 hours ago, which I believe is too late under New York State law, but regardless. And I find it really reprehensible that the deficit on a $12 million budget is $1.5 million. So $1.5 million is being taken out of the town fund balance in an election year, leaving a massive tax bomb for the next town board that will take office in January. This deficit is, again, $1.5 million on a $12 million budget with a fund balance that had, as of the audit in 2023, I believe, don't quote me, about $7 million in it, if you can combine the highway and the general fund. And last year there was also $1 million, approximately, I think $800,000 taken out of the fund balance. So this budget also is not final and does not include any cost of living adjustments for the employees. It has a lot of things slashed that there's not really any justification yet, and I understand that's forthcoming as to what expenses have been reduced. But honestly, it seems very artificial, and it seems that the real expenses are probably higher, especially because for 2024, no numbers have been released as to whether or not the town is actually following that budget. In the 2025 adopted budget, obviously you have the numbers for 2024. In this 2026 budget, we don't have the numbers for 2025 yet. So how do we even know that these numbers of like sales tax from the county, that supposedly we're gonna get $1 million in sales tax from the county, how do we know that any of those are actually gonna be met? And you know, I really do find it disturbing that this amount of money is being withdrawn from the fund balance with no plan as to how to eventually make ends meet, on top of recruiting the Orange County sheriffs for an additional $750,000. Thank you.
B.J. Mendelson. After B.J. Mendelson will be Louis Rivera.
I'll try to go through this real fast. Yes or no question to everyone on the board, starting with Councilwoman Richardson. Do you support ICE enforcement against Monroe residents?
Careful with the microphone.
Yep.
I'll support it.
Councilwoman Bingham? Mr. Scancarello, yes or no? Not answering that. Brave man, big guy. Mr. Cardone, how about you? Do you support ICE?
Don't go back and forth.
Do you support ICE? Yes or no?
Don't go back and forth here.
Tough on crime, Dory Houle.
I'm not answering your
You're not going to answer. Oh, so brave. What a great Senate candidate you are. Okay. I just want to point out that you guys were lied to repeatedly this evening. First, the only person who came up here and talked in favor of the Orange County Sheriff representing or working with the town of Monroe has a Cardone sign on her lawn. So way to go, Tony, having your friends come and speak in favor of your proposals. What a great tactic. Now, I want to make sure the public has a timeline because Mr. Cardone repeatedly lied to you. I have foiled a bunch of documents from the Village of Monroe. I've also talked to all of the Village of Monroe officials. I apologize for speaking fast, but we discriminate against people with a 3-minute time limit. In January 2025, for the first time since United Monroe gifted us Tony Cardone about a decade ago, for the first time, he approached the Village of Monroe about expanding the police presence in the town. So to be clear, at no point in your entire worthless existence have you, Tony Cardone, ever approached the Village of Monroe about expanding the police presence into the town. You do not care about people's health and safety, sir. After that meeting, you know what Mr. Cardone did next, according to FOIL documents and village officials? Anyone want to guess? Absolutely nothing. So this, oh, well, we didn't get our response. Not true. Total bull. You think I'm lying? Go ahead and show us the documents that show I'm lying. You got nothing. Now, I know there was a brief dog and pony show of Alex, whatever his name, who's running for mayor. Of course, you two idiots support him. But much like Dory's 2 consecutive campaigns for state senate, that went nowhere, aside from what we've seen this evening. Between January and June of 2025, the village did not hear back at any point from Tony Cardone and Dory Houle. In June, Cardone and Houle, without sharing this document with the public, much like they did this evening, or with their entire board, presented an IMA out of whole cloth for village police services. This agreement was completely lopsided, with the village taking on most costs and responsibilities. The proposed expansion of police, it should be noted, would create the single largest agency in the village of Monroe and create an enormous tax burden for village residents. I thought the Republicans were all about cutting taxes, Tony. Now, you might be wondering why this is a lopsided agreement.
Please just let go of the mic, because
it doesn't work. I'm 6'4". You're gonna have to deal with it. Why the lopsided agreement? One potential reason is that Tony Cardone has run out of money in a reserve fund to paper over his fiscal mismanagement in the town. Or put another way, Mr. Cardone has bankrupt Monroe, much like he bankrupted his Hallmark store. The village, as you might imagine, had questions upon receiving the IMA. Instead of answering those questions, Mr. Cardone ghosted them for months.
Time is up.
Thank you.
Oh, there was so much more.
Thank you very much.
Support Ice, Tony?
Next speaker.
Support Ice, Dory? No? So brave? So
Louis
cool?
Rivera,
Next speaker.
followed by Louis Rivera is Dan Burke.
Good evening, board. How are you guys doing? Pretty good? So, Supervisor Cardone, you're not only the supervisor, you're also the budget officer, is that correct? Okay.
I'm not answering questions till the end.
Okay. So Supervisor Cardone, in reviewing the 2026 tentative budget, I went through the summary page, page 2 of the document posted on the website. I wanted to understand why the 2026 tax rate per thousand, when you total all the funds, shows a town rate of $8.06 per thousand compared to $7.33 per thousand in 2025. That's a 9.9% tax increase once again in 2026. So I kind of said to myself, something's wrong here. The numbers didn't make sense, so I pulled the 2025 summary page to review both years side by side. I have copies if you want to see. What I actually found is extremely concerning. The figures listed on the 2026 tentative budget as 2025 tax rates are not 2025 numbers at all. They're the exact same numbers used for 2024 on the 2025 adopted budget summary page. That means that every so-called historical 2025 figure on the 2026 tentative budget summary page is wrong. The data is inaccurate. It's bogus. So what's being presented to the public
1 minute.
and the board as a 2026 tentative budget cannot be properly reviewed for or discussed because the numbers are incorrect. So I do have copies of it. If anybody here in the audience wants to take a look at it as well. But I'm going to give every board member a copy, and I don't know what the proper procedure is. Should I give it to you guys or should I give it to Valerie?
Give it to the clerk.
But it's right here, and the numbers are inaccurate. What you posted
Give it to the clerk.
is totally inaccurate, and it's an embarrassment. So I'm questioning 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022. Look at it. The numbers don't lie. Have a good evening.
Dan Burke.
Hi, Dan Burke again, elder statesman, Rye Hill Road, Village of Monroe, Town of Monroe. My favorite subject is the flagship cinema, and I have some good news. The Lafayette Theater in Suffern has not closed. It's still open. The movie business is alive and well, which is good news for flagship cinema and the Town of Monroe, who owns the theater. The movie theater is an important town asset, but that investment is paying us no dividends. Anything the town board can do to generate interest and ticket sales will help the town's budget. Flagship's contract calls for quarterly financial reports, which I'd like to read. I foiled for these reports to no avail. Do they exist? If you can make them available to me, I'd love to see them. And if they don't exist, make Flagship give us these reports. They're supposed to tell us quarterly what's going on. And if they do exist, I'd ask the chairman to post them on the town website so that our citizens can keep track of their investment. At a recent town board meeting, I suggested forming a citizens committee to advise the board on our theater. Have you considered my suggestion, my brilliant thought? No. An energetic citizens theater committee could take the lead in planning for the 5 town theater events agreed to in our Flagship cinema contract. For example, I'm sure we all remember, the International Film Festival brought 2,000 people, film fans, to our movie theater in the middle of August. So let's do it. Let's get that going. And I'd like to say that 2 years ago, our councilwoman-to-be got 1,766 votes, 500 more than the runner-up, and her constituents would like to hear what she has to say.
That's all for public comment.
Anyone else want to speak? Okay. Anyone from the board?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Mary? I'd like to address Louis Rivera's comments about the tentative town budget. A few items on the budget that I'm holding the certified copy that says that this was presented to the town clerk on October 6th. The tentative town budget by law should have been presented to the town clerk in advance of September 30th. By law, the town budget should have been presented to the board at or before October 5th. By New York State open meetings law, the tentative town budget, because it was being presented tonight illegally, yet it was being discussed tonight, since we host a high-speed internet website, should have been posted 24 hours in advance of the 7 o'clock meeting tonight for residents to review, because documents associated with any agenda item as practicable should be posted, and it is as practicable in any event you would be held liable for violation because it was due September 30th. That also includes the department heads' requests that were mandated by law be turned over, let's say, September 20th, which we do not have. As a town board member, I do not have in my possession the numbers that my own department heads are requesting from the town supervisor to go into the categories for this proposed budget. We also, as town council people, need to do our fiduciary oversight duties, the year-to-date totals to compare the actual budget, because it would be completely worthless without year-to-date totals, to see if we exceeded expected budgetary predictions in our budget from last year, to see if we need adjustments, to see if we need different numbers, if we want to expand or trim. We need the year-to-date actual totals spent in each of these line items, and more expanded, because this is a general line-by-line item budget that contains very little detail, very little justification, as I said, for each expense. Not only that, and every comment that has been made about the budget is correct so far, to reiterate that the tax rate is wrong to compare the rate increase in tax. And actually, the 2024 budget numbers are in the 2025 slot, the tax rate. So there's a $1.5 million decrease in the fund balance, and the rate of increase for including villages is 9.9%, and excluding villages is 5.6%. As fiduciary officer, who receives an $18,000 stipend to do this on top of his fiduciary duties as supervisor, why, I don't know. You should probably know how much you are expecting to raise taxes by, provide the financial information provided to, department heads to justify how much we're going to increase. And it didn't seem odd to you that we were taking 1.5 out. Doesn't that align with the tax rate itself? These are all questions that we would like answers to.
So let me give you an answer on the fund balance. You have fund accounting here. You have expenses and revenues. And in some ways, some of it is a little bit of a guess. Those are numbers that are appropriated. That doesn't mean our fund balance dwindled by that much, because we've been under budget for the last 8 years. So that money went back into the fund balance. It didn't decrease. And I will say, October 6th is the date the tentative budget was due, because the 5th was on a Sunday. So there was no law broken there.
Explain that if the 5th is a Sunday, it's at or before. You were supposed to host a special meeting, and your comments don't address the fact that we could validate those claims with year-to-date totals. You could be completely right. Where are the year-to-date totals? Where are the departmental heads' requests? You're preventing our financial oversight, which is my entire point. It digs into our time as board members to call
You
special
didn't vote on the
meetings.
budget last year. I didn't realize you cared this year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was busy having a stroke. Sorry that inconvenienced you.
Anything else? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here.